kind of almost been integral to my life, you know, so I feel very connected to it, and it means an awful lot to me, from, you know, myself as a small child visiting it right away through to, you know, sort of now as a retired person using the facilities and walking in it. And yeah, so it's been, you know, my life really as a space, as a breathing space, as a space to come and just sit and, you know, reflect and or enjoy whatever is on in the park. So yeah, very important to me, I think personally, yeah.
And I've noticed you can come on your own. It's very safe. You can wander. If you sit down, you won't be on your own long. Somebody, male or female, will come and sit next to you or near you, and you just start talking, which is lovely.
But it's something I remember coming here as a child with my mum and my dad and my sister and friends and playing. So I lived half a mile away, so pretty much every morning this is where I would come and go for a walk.
It was mainly a social thing on a Sunday. Everyone got dressed up and just went round and round, you know, socialising and that.
The park now, after 50 years, has matured. All the trees and the plants have matured. When I was a kid 50 years ago, it was all kind of bare and everything was exposed and it didn't have the same beauty. And now, fantastic compared to what it was 50 years ago. And it was always there on my doorstep.
I can see the difference in the trees from when we used to come, and I had the children with me. And now I'm bringing great-grandchildren. It's wonderful.
My children with their children, and now we've got great-grandchildren that we bring. It means life, open air, fresh air, freedom.
I don't know, it's that community thing, it's headspace, it's a lot of things. Like, for me, it's somewhere for everyone to hang out, and there's a good community here. There's a much younger community that we try and sort of get to be a better stage, I think.
But I think there's something very special about having something on your doorstep. So almost everyone in town is within walking distance of this park and can come here. It can be whatever you want it to be. You can sit on a bench and just look at the beautiful lake and enjoy the scenery and not be active at all. You can play football we've got a huge show field that you can play football on.
It means a lot to me. I've been here a long time. I like it. I like working here. We get people who come in here every day, and they've been coming in here every day for 50 years.
I think it's a lovely place to work. I love all the great big trees and quite a lot of positive feedback. People saying the place looks beautiful today.
There's so much to see.
So much older than people realise. I mean, the land was donated to the people of Darlington in 1636. Charles I was on the throne back then. It was before the Civil War. Yes, it wasn't a public park back then, but the land was still to be used for the benefit of the people of Darlington.
The land was public. It was given to the people as 3 beast gates, it was called, to walk your cows on, graze your animals, dogs, whatever you want. There wasn't anything known as a park.
That's just amazing. I mean, to think this was a farmland, and then gradually, I guess it must be the Victorians, because the Victorians are really big on that. The Victorians began to shape it and turn it into an attraction.
One of the oldest parks in the UK, I think there's only Birkenhead that's actually older outside of London for being public parks, certainly the oldest in the North East.
This was kind of created as a green oasis for the workers and the people of the town, and I kind of like that idea that it sort of came from a good place to create somewhere green for the workers.
ride a bike. My dad's taken me onto the flat expanse of the grass and holding the bike as I sat on it, and then running alongside the bike and then letting go and then learning to keep going, until I fell off.
Across the river, across the Skern, there's the Japanese garden which they've just refurbished, and my first memory that I remember is falling into it.
Well, I think the memory's prompted by this photograph I have of my brother and I. I was 10, he was 7, sitting on the cannon, which is kind of, everyone has a photograph of them sitting on the cannon.
And we used to come every Sunday in our Sunday bests. We got them out of the pawn shop on a Saturday, and then on a Monday we put them back in again. We used to have to keep shut, so to speak, because children, were seen but not to be heard and that.
If home was Jethro's castle, then South Park was his garden. Bordered on the right by a straight length of the River Skern, on the left by the back gardens of semi-detached houses at Clifton Road and the gardens of the council houses on Neasham Road, it curved round to form the junction with the River Skern, with green Victorian cast iron railings leading up to the A167. And tacked onto the south side was the Skern Park Council Estate.
And you've got various different estates that are around here as well. I mean, you've got Skern Park, and you've got, the richer estates over that side as well. But both people use the park. It doesn't matter how much money you've got, how big your house is, how nice your car is. When you get here, you can still play football with your kids. It makes no difference how rich you are. So it's a good equaliser.
It's quite interesting that we've got a council estate that side and we've got the West End that side, and I think it works for everyone.
When the South Park Foundation was applying for lottery funding, one of the reports that we used was one which looked at that divide, that Grange Road that goes next to the park. There's a 10-year difference in life expectancy between one side of the road and the other. You wouldn't know from somebody walking around the park which side of that barrier they were on.
I think it particularly worked during lockdown because I really think it was a godsend for many people, the fact that they could walk around such a large space. And I think a lot of people probably discovered the park during lockdown.
If you lived in this area, this was just the ideal place to come and have that breathing space and also to see people. Even if it was 6 feet or whatever, that you could see them. So I think, I think it was important to people.
The outer edges of the red brick terraces and the silver-cobbled alleys that made up a great sprawl of identical houses, one of which Jethro called home, a bolt hole, only ever a few hundred yards away.
There's the skate park. People don't realise that's there.
We've got some old railway lines up there. We've got a cannon from the Crimean War. We've got some redwood trees, which are in the top 10 trees in the country. Boulder from the Ice Age, down by the entrance on Victoria Embankment.
That the cafe is there from 1908. Despite the fact it says 1908 on the front of it, people don't realise it's that old.
The birds and the animals in the very small enclosure.
It's got ancient trees, the beautiful bandstand.
One of the areas that I really like is the Rose Garden.
Trees are just out of this world to me.
Bowling Green, which sort of seems to be well used now, and that's very quintessentially British, isn't it?
A history of events in the park which bring the local population in.
I only actually started running because of South Park, because of Park Run. So Park Run is a national, well, global organisation. The runs take place at 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning, all over the country. Whatever town you go to, you'll be able to find a park run. We just love the park. It's a fabulous place to run. So as well as Park Run on a Saturday morning, we'll come here on a Tuesday night and do a session, and that's all within the park. So yeah, it's brilliant.
It means a lot to everyone. The people who use it on the daily, I don't know what they'd do otherwise. If they didn't have it, Darlington have a much bigger problem with antisocial behaviour. I can guarantee you that. Like, it's keeping at least 30 kids, 50 kids who are at that age where, like, if it goes wrong, they're going to be little monsters, you know what I mean? It's better to keep them entertained with this. My name's Stuart Morgan. I'm the chairman of South Park Foundation currently. I also use the skate park. That's kind of the main reason I got involved, yeah.
In 1636, the original 4 fields were donated to the people of Darlington. That's the flat bit of land that has Park House or the Clock Tower, the bowling greens, play area, the tennis courts, mugger sort of area. That's the flat bit that was donated in 1636. Over the years, various bits got added on. And then in the 1880s, they basically got a whole load of land as part of a bankruptcy sale. That's where the main lake is now, with the Sensory Garden, the bandstand is, and about half of the main show field. The land on the south side of Parkside Road was added about the same time as Parkside Road was put in. So that was a boating lake from the late 20s to the 1950s. And then the rest of the show field was added on in the next 30 years or so. The land over here in the Rock Quarries was added in the 1930s. Being added piecemeal sort of thing over 150 years basically.
think a lot of things that a Victorian family would be doing, whether it be riding their little, sort of penny farthing type things or playing ball games, I think they would see that, sort of 100, 150 years later, 200 years later. I think they'd be very proud. They were Quakers, weren't they, and philanthropists, and I think they thought about people's well-being even there, because they would have planted these trees and there would be saplings, and they wouldn't see how it's developed into this beautiful green space.
I suppose for people who didn't have access to the countryside to come and enjoy some green space and have some downtime, so in that way it's probably used exactly the same as it was, just I suppose people do different things in their downtime. The running and the fact people can come here to do that, I assume didn't happen in the 1800s, although the Harriers has been going since 1891, so maybe they came and ran here.
Particularly around Park House, it's very rich in that Victoriana bedding plants that were replaced every 6 months, and that's something that the Victorians would definitely have recognised. I mean, the bowling greens are still being used. The aviary is still there. Okay, it doesn't have monkeys in it anymore, but, it's the 21st century now. I think they'd be happy to see people still using the park exactly the way that they would have used the park. Just walking around, enjoying the open space, possibly seeing the trees that they planted at full size. With trees taking 100 years to mature, you plant a tree, you never expect to see it fully mature. So, seeing trees that you've planted fully mature would be quite spectacular, I would imagine.
People love the trees, it's fantastic, the trees. There's one of everything in here, from chestnuts to walnut trees. We have 3 walnut trees in here, we've got the giant Wellingtonias, redwoods, we have everything, giant oaks.
That it's still a place where everybody in the town, whatever their background, can come and enjoy it, and they don't have to think about whether they can afford it. Everyone can come and can sit and read a book quietly, can run around a field screaming and shouting and playing games, can go for a run around it. I just hope that it's still a place that everybody can enjoy, whoever they are.
I think it just needs to be relevant to people by, sort of having proms in the park to the fun runs. And I'm sure there are some people who are not even aware of some of these activities that go on. And I just hope that in the future, more people get to know about it, and we keep on using it, and it's vibrant and alive and relevant.
When I became chairman, I obviously had to think about the ecology. Like, we've got the birds in the pond, we've got the mugger, people who play football, we've got the play park with the kids, we've got the aviary with the birds in. Even the clock itself, that's a building that money needs to be spent on for the upkeep. I hope all of these things stay. I hope that at some point we get a new facility built.
I hope it looks the same. I hope they just carry on looking after it as they have done.
South Park offers the ability to get in touch with the real natural world around us, That's what I hope for the future. More young people would come here and do that and play.
whatever people need it to be, it's been. And I hope that for the next 100 years, the same happens. You know, if people change what they want from it, they can use it for whatever they need.